Alright, so how's it going? So this is basically just an overview of all the iPhone footage that I collected on my friend Max and our trip out around the country that we took in this Chevy van for 50 days back in March and April of 2023. So this is going to be basically a very simple video, kind of maybe potentially boring, probably pretty long. I might chime in here and there to just talk about what's going on, but it's just going to be basically this is just a video for me to get the footage out and just have another place for the footage. So follow along as we travel around the country. So some of this footage is going to be with no sound while we're driving here because we played a lot of music. Don't want to get copywritten and all that. But we went to Atlanta for the first night, and then we ended up in New Orleans here and spent a full day here. Of course, we couldn't miss Bourbon Street while we were there. And also, if you ever go to New Orleans, go to the Dungeon. And the next morning, we woke up and headed all the way to Austin, which was a all-day drive, and then we went to a Buddy Guy concert. So we woke up from Austin and headed all the way out west to Carlsbad, New Mexico. And this is where things really started to get really cool. The national parks and things, everything out west. But this is Carlsbad Caverns here. And I mean, you just have to go to see it. I mean, it was incredible. The mouth of the cave here was so big. I mean, you could fly a helicopter through it easily. Small plane. Amazing. Then the next place we made it to was White Sands National Monument in New Mexico, just a little kind of northwest of Carlsbad Caverns. Then we continued north up into Colorado, passed through the Rockies in a snowstorm, and came to this cabin and started our Colorado journey through the Great Sands, Mesa Verde, the Rockies, Denver. So while we were in the Great Sand Dunes, a hailstorm actually hit, which was really fun, but we had to go back to our car and then come back out later and start hiking again. And the Great Sands is a 30 square mile dune field that you can hike all around. And this town we're passing through, I think might be kind of the outskirts of Colorado Springs. But then we went up to Denver and spent a good day there and stayed in a hostel here. Then we were off to northern Colorado to Rocky Mountain National Park. There we saw dozens of elk, beautiful views of the Rockies. We stayed mainly around Moraine Park, and Moraine Campground is where we stayed. So then we made it to southern Utah, to Moab, and this is literally like one of my favorite places in the world. I mean, I absolutely love it. Gonna try and make it back there this summer. But we made it here in the rain, got some great Mexican food, and did some exploring the next day. Then we spent the next morning hiking the Delicate Arch Trail up the Delicate Arch in Arches National Park, and that was cold. We almost got lost that morning. But that arch right there is a lot bigger than it looks like, and a lot bigger than I thought it'd be. So we spent some time driving around Utah. We went to several different national parks, but the scenery is just indescribable. I mean, there's nothing like it. I grew up on the East Coast. By the way, that's a hole in a wall. Been there a couple times, never climbed up it. This is the famous area where Forrest Gump turned around. I think that's just great, just seeing him drive off in the van. So we spent the night at a KOA in Monument Valley, and KOAs, we stayed at a lot of them. They are awesome. You should stay at them. Uh, you know, cabins, showers, laundry, RV parking, tent sites. And this was just such a good moment right here. So this was Horseshoe Bend, which was a really scary place. I've been a couple times. Just hundreds of people standing on the edge. Very scary.
Man, I so want to just fucking jump off.
So here at the Grand Canyon, we saw some more elk, and we hiked part of the either the Bright Angel Trail or the Rim to Rim Trail. Can't remember. Then we're here in Zion Valley. We didn't get a chance to go up to Angel's Landing, but I mean, this is like nothing I've ever seen in the world. I just love southern Utah, northern Arizona. Now, these are the Bonneville Salt Flats in northern Utah. We did a lot of zigzagging up and down out west, and we didn't get a chance to drive out there because of the rain. So at the gas station out here down the road, I actually almost got scammed. I'm about 95 to 100% sure. He had a card scanner on top of the actual card scanner itself, but thankfully I refused, gave him cash. And this guy up here on the left looks like he got stuck. Uh, yeah, we didn't drive out there. Then we made it into Nevada, and we actually went to the biggest stretch of no gas, which was about maybe 130 miles with no gas. Just super desolate. So, of course, we couldn't go out to Nevada without going to Area 51, which we also went to this restaurant, very famous, and we went to the black mailbox, and we went not all the way to the gate, but we went pretty close to it. Then we got scared off by a couple white trucks parked on a hill. Then we went to Las Vegas, of course, and to be honest, this was actually probably my least favorite place, just 'cause it was a lot of gambling, a lot of just felt very kind of dirty. I don't mean that offensively. It just wasn't my cup of tea. Um, we just did a lot of gambling, kind of. Well, Max did. He spent a couple $100s. I spent 100, but we had to. You know, we were in Las Vegas. We had to do some of the slot machines and things like that. We had a great dinner. Really awesome, actually, great dinner. But I really didn't care for the rest. Felt very dirty and stuff. But it was awesome to explore the Luxor. That was actually very cool because I'm a big Chris Angel fan. Grew up watching him, and just to explore where, the place that I grew up watching. So after Death Valley, we headed further south down California. Saw a bunch of sand tornadoes, whatever you call them, and then made our way to 29 Palms and kind of zigzagged all the way back up. Then we made it to the famous Slab City in Southern California. It was kind of sketchy a little bit. As soon as we pulled up, some guy looked like he was like covered in dirt and walked out. And then another guy was like tearing apart a trailer with an axe, and I think there was a fire burning. But after that, it felt very safe. Walked up, a couple tourists. There was what looked like a local kind of doing an interview with maybe a local news crew or something. So we saw a bunch of these vehicles on the trip as well, just huge, like Mack trucks turned into campers. This was our sleeping arrangement in the van, pretty cozy, decked out with some lights. So I believe this was in Dana Point. These next few videos are just south of it, which is just south of Los Angeles. And I remember at this point we were having some van trouble, and I don't know about Max, but I was pretty stressed out about making it home. So this was a big moment. We finally made it across the United States to the Pacific Ocean. So this is us making it to the outskirts of Venice Beach. Then we got to LA. We took an Airbnb up to the Griffith Observatory, and we walked around all day around downtown and Beverly Hills. So that's what these next bunch of videos are, is that day hike. So I realized I'm actually going to make this into a several part series just for storage issues. So I hope to see you in the next few.